Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm gonna be talking about is meeple dead? Now, quick question: what happened to meeple? When I play Brawl Stars, I don't see meeple whatsoever. The only time I saw meeple was during his release, but still, I barely saw him during his release. Now that brings up the question of is meeple dead? My answer is absolutely. But the main question is why is he dead? Well, we need to go back when he was first released. I'm sure people were somewhat hype about him because of his shots being able to curve naturally. Sure, we have hypercharges, well, hypercharge that can curve, Piper's gadget that can curve, but we haven't had a normal basic attack that can just naturally curve. So I feel like people were excited about that. Same for me as well, because I love playing snipers, and a sniper that can curve is kind of crazy to me. I feel like one of the only reasons people were playing meeple during his release is because of his gadget glitches. If you don't know, there was an infinite mansion meeple gadget glitch where you activate your gadget with meeple right before you die when you have dark soup on you, making you having your gadget as your basic attack for the rest of the game. I think pretty sure the Rage Quit gadget also had a glitch where it was able to stop brawlers like Janet and Kenji mid super, which was crazy, and being able to stop the invincible minecart that no brawler in Brawl Stars history has been able to do that. I mean, when Supercell fixed those glitches, I feel like no one was really interested in meeple anymore. Like, it's basically throwing away a new toy that you got bored of. And it doesn't help that meeple is also not a competitively strong brawler. Meeple's overall meh brawler, like a pretty boring brawler to play. Even though the shots curve hitting, knowing damn well if you were playing a Piper that would not hit. Because unlike other long ranges, meeple doesn't have any form of mobility, which kinda makes him boring. Now I know meeple is a controller, not a marksman, but he feels like a marksman. I feel like he should be classified as a marksman, which I'll get into later. So how good is meeple right now is a question that I thought to myself. I feel like meeple is a C tier brawler. If I had to rate him out of 10, I feel like it would be a 6 out of 10. Meeple's best build is the reload speed, star power, and any of the two gadgets, honestly. The Rage Quit gadget to just counter the aggros. Mention meeple's overall just a broken ass gadget. Meeple's best modes are Knockout and Hot Zone because there's the amount of pressure meeple can get with that mentioned what's it called? The mentioned meeple gadget, yeah. Because it's pretty broken both Knockout and Hot Zone to get the amount of pressure, which in both of those modes are really important. Meeple can be played in both any map in Knockout and Hot Zone, but meeple just lack the range and DPS to really compete with the other brawlers that are better on Knockout and Hot Zone. Meeple is also very map dependent, and currently in the competitive scene, no map really favors meeple. Sure, there are some maps that do, like Parallel Place, Bells Rock, Flying Phoenix, and Last Stop, but even then, I'm pretty sure there are way better picks than meeple in these maps because they outrange meeple, they out DPS meeple, they have more control than meeple, and so on. What does Supercell have to change about meeple for him to get back into relevancy? Well, I feel like Supercell should nerf and buff meeple at the same time. I will say his nerf first. I feel like Supercell should nerf his mentioned meeple gadget because currently I feel like meeple is kinda like a lily in a sense because of how broken the gadget is. Meeple is kinda overall weak without that gadget. And if you don't have the mentioned meeple gadget, meeple is just kind of weak brawler overall. So nerfing that gadget and buffing its other parts, I feel like would make meeple overall better brawler. So probably nerfing the radius of the mentioned meeple gadget. I think it's like 6x6 or 4x4. I don't know. Nerf it from like 6.6 to a 5x5 or 4x4. Nerf the radius by a little bit because I feel like it's kind of broken. Now for his buff, I feel like meeple isn't necessarily weak, but he also isn't necessarily strong. So I feel like a reload speed buff would be really good for him, just to nudge him a bit up, like how Supercell gave Shelly a movement speed buff, and that made Shelly from F tier all the way to S tier. I still can't get that out of my head. Meeple, if you don't know, has the slowest reload speed in the game, tying with Jean. He has the same reload speed as a Jean, but he is way worse than Jean. Because Meeple's a mid-range brawler that lacks in DPS, and a reload speed buff I feel like would help him increase the DPS and help him fend off for himself to kill opponents quicker, so the gameplay with meeple would feel smoother and people would actually enjoy playing meeple. You feel me? Like if the reload speed is buffed, you can kill people quicker, you can kill people more, people will actually have fun with meeple, and that's the point of Brawl Stars. Or Supercell can go another route. Instead of making him a full-on controller, which is what he is right now, they can make him a marksman, and that's where the range buff comes in. Meeple's range is 7 2/3 tile according to Kairos, but I feel like I should just sum it up to 8 tiles because with his curse, I'm pretty sure he can hit up to 8 tiles. And I feel like buffing his range from a 7 2/3 tile to like 9.5 tiles will make Meeple more viable in long range map. It will definitely make Meeple more viable in long range map, and it will classify Meeple as more of a marksman than a controller. And Meeple can be way more viable in the maps I mentioned just now, like Last Stop and Last Stop and Bell's Rock. The range buff can also be justified for his insanely slow reload speed, since I feel like one of the two should be buffed, his range or his reload speed, because his reload speed is insanely slow, which makes him a really boring brawler to play. Now for comparison, for the range, Piper's range is 10 tiles and Bell's range is 10 2/3 tile. So I feel like making his range from 7 2/3 tile to 9.5, I feel like that's reasonable. That wouldn't make him too broken, that wouldn't make him weak. I feel like that would make him a little stronger than usual, maybe from C tier all the way to top of B tier, maybe even bottom of A tier. That's stretching it a little. But that is all from me. Thank you for listening to me yapping. I'll see you on the next one.